I'm Toni Black for your post interviews for a day in the life of business. For today's show, we've had Generation Possible. Right here with me is Mrs. Allison Fussell, the Executive Director of Child Spring International Organization right here in Atlanta. They're a great organization from what I'm understanding, helping children all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit more about your organization? What countries are you dealing with kids from? And what are the type of issues that you're helping these children on?
Sure, certainly. Child Spring International helps children in 40 different developing countries all over the world. And so predominantly we're working in Latin America, South America, in Africa, so all over the countries that do not necessarily have the health care that we have in America. So we try to help children with a variety of conditions, medical conditions. A lot of heart surgery, a lot of cleft palate work, strabismus, which is crossed eyes, which can cause blindness, and a lot of prosthetic work as well. Children who've lost their limbs either through a broken leg that never set properly, or they were born with no kneecaps, or whatever the condition might be. So we try to help the whole child, and we provide the surgeries either in America or in a neighboring country. We might send a child from Kenya to India for a heart surgery because they can do it in India, and that's the best place for that child to have that surgery. So it's really an amazing organization for us because we also look at the whole child. We look at helping the child with just emotionally getting themselves back on track again, and really understanding that they're perfect really the way they are, but we can help them and help their whole community by providing something for them that they just did not have the opportunity for. We also help the child spiritually just by providing God's love, just by that simple expression. We're not trying to change anyone's religion or convert anyone at all. It's just out of an expression of our love of helping the children universally. And then education is another support area that we really focus on that makes us a little different from some of the other organizations in the country, in that we want to support a child through their education up through high school so that they have a better opportunity to really take what we've been able to help them with and transform other people too.
So you're offering a great program for kids holistically, mind, body, soul, emotional, everything, mentality, education. That is a wonderful platform that you're working upon. And I do want to ask you, because we didn't really get into detail on the panel today, but tell us about the young lady that you're going to meet, if you don't mind, to go to pick up at the airport today. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, her name is Shalika, and she's from Haiti. And she was born with clubfoot, and this is not her first surgery, but her feet were so twisted that she could really had great difficulty walking at all. And the pictures I've seen of her feet were difficult to look at in some ways. But I'm going to get to see her smiling face in a little while, and I understand that she's just a delight. I've not met her yet, but I understand she's an absolute delight, and I really look forward to seeing her because the transformation for these children is so powerful, and the stories we hear about the girls who go back to Haiti where there's an 80% unemployment rate, and they create a life for themselves and get, whether it's sewing and make uniforms for schools, whatever it might be that they can do for themselves, really does change their lives forever. So,
well, we look forward to getting some updates about this young lady that you're going to meet today. Can you tell the people where they can find out about your organization, the website, and if there's a physical address, if they can actually come over and see some of the history that you all have made?
Sure. Our website, of course, is Child Spring International, INTL. So it's childspringintl.org. That's our website. We have updates every month about the children, so you can follow along with the child. Our physical address is, we're located inside First Presbyterian Church, which is right next door to the High Museum. Big, beautiful church. We're very graciously hosted by the church. So we're not necessarily of the church, but we are of their family in the sense that they support us as we support these children. So if you want to come by the church, we're right there at 1328 Peachtree Road.
Well, thank you for joining us here today at A Day in the Life of Business right here in Duluth, Georgia. This has been one of our wonderful panelists, Mrs. Allison Fussell of the Child Spring International Organization. They're some of the best people in the world that are helping children all over the United States and the country. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Toni Black with Mrs. Fussell. We'll be back with more post-interviews for a Day in the Life of Business. Good day, I'm Toni Black. For more post-interviews for a Day in the Life of Business, today's panelists, they are the Generation Possible. Right now I have the Women's Economic Development Agency Chair and CEO, Ms. Wendy Dillard. She was on our panel today giving us some great information. I would like to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the WIDA organization and where people can reach you, and what are some of the benefits of your organization?
Well, WIDA, again, is the Women's Economic Development Agency. We're a bilingual organization. All of our services are in English and in Spanish. We offer training, support, resources, education, access to funding for entrepreneurs, and also inspiration and motivation, the ability to network. We have events and all types of things that we do. We're a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3. We're an SBA supported organization. We are one of only 2 SBA supported organizations in Georgia. And I love what we do. It's interesting to have people who have an interest in business or idea or dream, to be able to give them the tools and resources to make it happen.
Now, I noticed that when you were on the panel, you were speaking of funding. I know a lot of people are very interested in possibly getting funded for grants. How do you all go about that? Do you all offer the writing or the source of where they can find the grant, or do they locate the grant through your organization and the writers per se?
Oh, I would love to be able to offer grants. However, we do not. What we do is offer resources and access to those funding opportunities. Also, as an SBA's technical support provider, for anyone who applies for an SBA guaranteed loan, they'd have to come to us to make sure their business plan and their financials and things are together. And then we go to the bank, with them to the bank on their behalf to help them to process that paperwork. So for SBA, we can help with technical assistance to be approved for those loans. And then we also have partner organizations that we work with and resource partners who have small loans and larger loans depending on the type of business that you have. As far as grants, we don't offer grants, but we do offer grant writing courses, and we have a network of grant writers that we can refer you to as well.
Very good. And with those people who are being funded, for people who are getting funding that's under $250,000 to say $5,000 or $8,000 at a minimum. Do you all work with those people primarily? Because I know a lot of times that the banks already work with people who are asking for the $250,000 plus. So are you working with the people who are asking for much less than that?
Actually, ironically enough, we help people on all different levels. We have several programs that help people out. Interviewed organizations that have a $5 million a year budget but still need money for growth and infrastructure and those type of things. So we help businesses on every level.
Very good, very good. Well, I would again like to thank you for joining us here for a Day in the Life of Business. This is Toni Black, and I'm here with Miss Wendy Dillard of WIDA. Again, please tell people where they can locate your organization online, and is there a physical address that they may be able to go to as well?
Absolutely. We're located at 1389 Peachtree Street in Midtown. We're right on the corner of 17th. You can go to our website at www.wida-atlanta.org.
Thank you very much. I am Toni Black for a Day in the Life of Business, right here with Ms. Dillard, one of our panelists for Generation Possible. We are right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and also in one of the surrounding areas, Duluth, at the BizLink Center. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with more post-interviews for A Generation Possible, a Day in the Life of Business. Thank you for joining us today for a Day in the Life of Business. I'm Toni Black of Real Talk, and I am your reporter for a Day in the Life of Business right here in Duluth, Georgia at the BizLink Center. Today's show was The Generation Possible. One of the panelists that we had was Mrs. Anna Stevens. She's the founder and CEO of mp4 Success. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks so much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here and share and add value.
Well, we have definitely enjoyed you here as well. I do want to find out a little bit more about mp4 Success, where people can reach out to you. What type of organizations or people do you normally have your actual delivery of presentations to? Can you give us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So mp4 Success is a consulting, training, and coaching company that provides consulting, training, and coaching in the area of emotional intelligence. And all viewers can agree that our emotions drive our behaviors, and our behaviors drive our productivity, and our productivity drives our bottom line. So if we stay committed to educating people about how their emotions affect their behaviors and actions, their productivity, their communication, their collaboration, their negotiation, their customer service skills, then now people can become more aware of it, and so they can actually take actions and they can act upon that knowledge. Because if you're not aware of your emotions, you cannot name them, you don't really know how you feel on a particular day, what pisses you off, what excites you. You know, when we are overly happy or overly excited, we are more likely to spend more money. When we are mad or upset, we are more likely to reject ideas, projects, and maybe miss out on opportunities. So emotional intelligence and mp4 Success, we are committed to educating people on this topic, and I deliver presentations, workshops, seminar, and it can be 90 minutes training, it can be an all-day training or 2-3 days training in the area of emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence affects your bottom line, how to set and achieve goals, how to actually choose and promote leaders. You need to know what it is that you're looking for in a leader, how to hire right people, and as a consultant, I work with organizations that do realize that their people deliver their bottom line, their people make it happen. And so organizations that want to hire right people and decrease their employees' turnover rate, increase their employees' retention ratio, these are my ideal clients.
Well, I would like to again thank you for joining us here, and we hope that we get an opportunity to have you as a panelist on another show. And what have you thought of the show so far today? Just your very candid, most close-up action of today's panel.
I think that today's panel delivers the opportunity to interview current entrepreneurs and business owners, and I think there is no more valuable opportunity like this, when you can actually, without reading books and Googling stuff, you can get a real overview from a real live business owner on how actually things are and how people work to make it happen. That's of a great value. And I think you asked me about my website and how people can reach out to me, and I don't think that I named. So my website is www.eq4success.com. EQ stands for emotional intelligence, and you can also join me on Facebook, and that's EQ4Success, Pinterest.com/EQ4Success, Twitter.com/EQ4Success. I have tons of videos on YouTube.com/EQ4Success. Please connect with me and be a part of my community.
Well, thank you for joining us here, and we will be right back. These are the post interviews. I am Toni Black for Real Talk and A Day in the Life of Business. Today's show, The Generation Possible. Thank you, Mrs. Stevenson. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
We'll be right back with more post interviews. I'm Toni Black for A Day in the Life of Business, and you all remember me from Real Talk, the live show. I have a vendor here with me today, right here for A Day in the Life of Business. Today's panel was on the Generation Possible, and one of these vendors right here, Miss Toni Nunley, is also a part of Generation Possible. She's an entrepreneur, and I'm going to let her give you a little bit more information about her company. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your organization and what you have going on and where people can reach you.
Awesome. The company is called Envision Marketing, and what we clearly do is help individuals' personal life and their business life to get the tools mobilely to really enhance their business.
Okay, and where can people reach you?
You can reach me on Facebook. I'm definitely on Facebook and all of the social media channels. Toni Nunley on Facebook, Tori_Nunley on Twitter. So definitely tweet me.
Well, thank you for joining us here today. Is this your first time being here
Yes,
today
this
in the
is my
life?
first time, yes.
So what did you think about
I
today's
thought it
panel?
was awesome, awesome, great conversation, great things being said. Definitely things that you can definitely apply to your business.
Exactly. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us here as a newcomer for A Day in the Life of Business. I am Toni Black. For your post interviews, I will be back with more. It's A Day in the Life of Business right here in Duluth, Georgia, part of the surrounding area of the ATL.